Good night, iTube. It's Avla. So today I want to talk about culture and the dangers of creating our own cultures, the dangers of man creating cultures that are not rooted in reality, that are not rooted in truth and actuality. And I titled this video, Culture is for Bacteria, pretty much, because when you think about it, that is a word that is used to describe bacteria. You create cultures of bacteria. When you look at the exponential growth of bacteria, scientists and stuff like that, whatever, bacteria, when you see a bunch of bacteria and the exponential growth of bacteria, it's a culture. That's how you describe that. It's called a culture of bacteria. They call it the culture of bacteria. So, and I know you can argue there's two different definitions of culture, but I mean, it makes sense because when we create these cultures from our own minds, not from the highest size mind, not from reality, we become like bacteria. Look at the world now. Humans are basically bacteria on the earth. That's why we have culture, because we are the bacteria on the earth. We're the bacteria. We created the world. The world is like the petri dish, and all of us humans are the bacteria. So it's a culture of bacteria. That's what we've become, because we create cultures that are not rooted in reality, that are not rooted in truth. So we have to be careful with that. For example, something that is rooted in truth is not exactly culture, because it's just reality. Say within Seago, the way we don't even wear our hair a certain way. The way our hair appears is simply what is. It's simply reality. We do not alter anything about our hair, for example. We do not alter anything about our hair. It grows just as the trees grow and the grass and the plants, and it's rooted in reality. It could appear we wear our hair a certain way, and that's part of Seagold culture, but it's not exactly culture, it's simply reality. Something that is culture would be if we decided we want to wear our hair in 2 braids. All Seagull females, that's our culture. All Seagull females have to wear their hair in 2 braids. Just like you see in some parts of Africa, they have certain braiding patterns with their hair, certain braiding styles, or certain certain clays, or certain things they use in their hair. And all the women have this hairstyle, certain coils they do their hair to look a certain way that alters the hair part itself. But as I was saying, we see in different parts of Africa, women of different tribes, different cultures, they alter their hair to look a certain way, and that is a part of their culture. All the women have that hairstyle. A hairstyle is not reality. In Seago, the way our hair appears is reality, because we do not alter it. It may appear to be culture, but it's just reality. So there's a difference between creating a hairstyle, and that's your culture. That is not reality, and simply existing within reality, simply existing within the order of the highest side with no alteration of what already is. So I hope that examples understood that in the world, in how humans have become bacteria pretty much, because we create things from our own minds, not the high size mind. We don't exist within reality. We create things and then have to create a bubble, like I said, that petri dish for the bacteria to expand and grow. We create these things, and it almost creates, no, not almost, it creates idolatry. That's where idolatry comes from, is our cultures and us coming up with these things from our own minds. Because when you think of not just like a hairstyle, think of like jewelry or anything that can become part of culture. Culture is full of things, and things allow idolatry. Minding our seat again, so pardon self. As I was saying, things and using our own mind to come up with things that don't exist within reality, that's a root of idolatry, because then certain looks or certain things become our gods. Our culture becomes our God. This is idolatry. So the culture that is not rooted in reality becomes our God. We're so devoted and so attached to it. Say myself, for example, I could be attached to the Togolese West African culture, because even us ourselves, we have come up with things, even if they're ancient things my great 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 grandmother did, it's still not rooted in reality. Whatever is rooted in reality is what we must do, and what we must whatever is rooted in reality is what we must exemplify, what we must mirror. We must mirror reality in everything we do. We do not need to come up with our own things. These things add up and become create idolatry. So that is the point of me saying that we become like bacteria with our cultures, because one, culture becomes our god. So that's idolatry. Even the things within culture, things, food, uh food, everything within these cultures is a part of the idolatry. And then, like I said, the culture, overlying culture itself, is idolatry, which is against God, which is against reality. So we then use these cultures, use the food and everything to expand. Like you see bacteria exponentially expand, and we've pretty much taken over the earth with the world. And the world is just full of us humans and our culture, which is against reality. So we basically become bacteria on the earth, and culture is for bacteria. Yeah, and like I said, with see gold, even us ourselves, we need to be very cautious and make sure that everything we do within our community is rooted in reality, so that we never, we need to use a different word other than culture, so that we never create any idolatry, or any smallest sense of idolatry we shouldn't create, so that we never have to be outside of reality. When we're within reality, we don't need culture. We simply are. We simply exist, and we mirror truth. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I know this will be understood by my mirrors. And yes, we need to be very cautious with the idolatry we create and we allow. And we need to be very cautious to not further what has already been done. We need to look at the mistakes of the world and not further these things, these cultures that we're so attached to, that are really idolatry and are not rooted in reality. So I hope everyone has a blissful day. God, I heal, I grow, I have I.